magical stuff here in Argentina. Right, well, we're going to get going finally in a moment. 24 laps, worked for me, Simon.
Guys, I'm impressed with the official's decision, you know.
Here in Argentina, I suppose Jack Miller facts certainly arguable. I mean, there's a lot of ways here that we. Andrea Dovizioso, the World Championship leader on board, is this.
Well, I've just put my mortgage on Jack Miller getting the whole shot anyway, so.
He's got it going. He's got it going, but he might have to start from pit lane.
He's come off his grid position.
Hang on a minute. I thought he was being pointed to pit lane. Has he got away with that one?
I tell you what,
Prix. 24 laps in Argentina, and the strangest start you'll ever see. Jack Miller gets away from getting the whole shot into turn one. Danny Pedrosa's second. Joan Zarco.
As did Maverick Vinales, but as you'd expect, Jack Miller bolting away at the front. Pedrosa leading the pursuing pack.
Marquez will be thanking his lucky as he ran across the water, and I think that he'll lose third. He does to Marquez. It's Jack Miller that leads from Danny.
Double up the inside of Joan Zarco as well at turn 5. Can't quite find his way to
reel in Jack Miller.
Bradley Smith had a great first opening. Dovizioso's out wide at turn number 7, and that were about Pam, so a mistake early on for Andrea Dovizioso. Marquez on the inside of his teammate. There's no love lost there between Marquez and Pedrosa.
He might just lead here going into the final corner, and he's going to have a look up the inside and almost get his nose chopped off.
A touch between Zarco.
Pedrosa's gone.
He got nudged on another collarbone there, massive high side, but he got nudged out wide by Joan Zarco. Pedrosa's race already over, and Miller now under real intense pressure. Pedrosa's not experienced another collarbone injury now. Marc Marquez can quite have an exhibition right here. Here he goes out of the slipstream, effortless by the world champion. He's into the lead on lap number 2. Marquez leads then, and he's had great pace all weekend. And now looking back at Jack Miller, his Ducati screaming for grip. Exactly where he wanted to be. Good news inside of him.
Oh, that is a bit cheeky. Zarco had no other room where to go, and unfortunately, on the damp, on the power, winds it on, and that's all she wrote. Nasty, nasty crash. It's good news that Danny's
fastest lap of the race, a 1:42.869, slightly quicker than your race leader Marc Marquez, but he's not found safe passage as yet through Alex Rins. Sees him in front of him. Must have made a mistake somewhere, Lorenzo, surely.
The Yamahas are having an absolute mare, Matt. They are nowhere to be seen here. In
half a second faster.
Is that a slight flag waving over there? What's that about? Where's that?
Firm sitting tight in third place. This is allowing Cal Crutchlow to edge ever closer to what would be his third podium finish here in Ireland right now.
The manoeuvre at race start currently under investigation. Well,
we saw one of the International Race Team Association.
2 Aprilia, Alicia Spargo and Scott Redding. Simon.
I'm with Hervé Poncherel.
I think like both of the team was a bit of a strange procedure. The white flag is shown, so we can swap back fast.
Thank you, Hervé.
Yeah, well, it's by Marc Marquez. He just took 9/10 of a second outside of Jack. It's Alex Rins for third.
I'm just interested to see what happens here with this Marquez situation and what happened at the start of the race.
About a possible sanction for Marc Marquez. To pitboard him. They can obviously send him a message on his dashboard as well. I can see now Marc Marquez mechanic right through is going on the board. It's sent. There we go. Marc Marquez is going to get right. There we are. Race direction. It's on his.
Ever likely to see. I have to say, in a way, I'm not surprised to see that after what happened on the grid. It's a very, very confusing situation. But if you're told to get off the grid and then you read and you start the race, I suppose you have to. He has to go in.
He's got to come in. Really, I think you get
2 laps. Is it?
He's in.
He's in. Unbelievable stuff, this. Can you believe it? Jack Miller, as he now comes through and over the line
today. What an afternoon of drama here in Argentina, the MotoGP World Championship. We've had half a season's worth of entertainment and drama so far. Marquez then, got to be careful there coming out of pit lane. It's going to be really greasy.
Based on his blistering speed, he can almost certainly get himself into the top 10. Of that, there's very little doubt on the grid. Can't get it going, eventually gets it going. He's told by an IRTA official to pit lane, and he's not going.
You can see, I think Cal Crutchlow was there as well saying, surely he's got to turn the bike around, didn't he?
So there's two penalties there, effectively. There's one he'd been told to get off anyway, and then he's ridden the bike on the wrong direction on the grid as well. You cannot write this at the start of the weekend. Dovizioso crosses the line in fifth ahead of Tito Rabat.
Andrea Dovizioso is playing. Been nowhere near the pace of this man, Marc Marquez. Marquez was checking out. He was long gone. This was going to be a cruise to the victory for the reigning world champion.
But seen anything like this in your entire life. This is your fight for the win. Here, Jack Miller.
See a few damp patches littered all around this
because he's absolutely living with what's going on. Marc Marquez is still in 19th place at present.
Because the last thing I want to happen, but, you know, when he's so far down now, he knows how fast he is, I wouldn't be surprised.
Look at this. Hafiz Syrin up behind Valentino Rossi. The Malaysian is riding
Marquez can get the top five here.
Easily.
He's got the pace. He'll be in the top five.
Yes, to move. Sorry, is that a Leish? It's a Leish, isn't it? Sorry. But then Careful and Marc Marquez kind of don't really go together.
Pretty sharpish, and then the next in his eye line will be Taka Nakagami.
Whoa! And that was almost... He really is the cat.
A couple of seconds in actual fact. Back at the front with Jack Miller. Miller, Rin, Zarco and Crutchlow. This is your quartet fighting for the victory. Two riders in that quartet trying to find their fins. Johan Zarco, not yet broken there.
Watch this. That's... Oh, blimey.
That's a... You know, I'm not really quite sure what Marquez thinks he can achieve there. But, I mean, look at that. There's no room at all.
He's going to know. It's hard to say what can happen here. I mean, there's just about everything. You think of any win this in fourth.
You know what, Steve, as well? Marquez doesn't need to be that hasty. He's so much quicker. He's got a drop window for the mandatory pit stop. He's up the inside now. Franco Morbidelli is carving his way through the field.
But he's about to be told that he's got to drop a position. Not really going to cost him.
But he just gained that position, so has he got to back one other place? Morbidelli.
Might be just about. Here we go. Oh, he's making Taka Nakagami sit up as well. This is carnage of epic proportions.
Bit of a hot butter through knife, isn't it? I think he just got momentarily confused there, supposed to be dropping, or who he was supposed to drop him behind.
Bizarre. 14
way quicker than everybody else, but that's the Marquez way, isn't it? Super aggressive all the time, every single.
On a bit of a charge. The gap to these guys is probably a bit too big, but he might well be in a fight for
Zarco and a 141.3 for Cal Crutchlow.
Two Movistar Yamaha riders, Vinales, and back straight there is Marc Marquez. It looked like he's almost on the grass there, trying every which way he can try Dovizioso, and Dovizioso's in a bit of bother here.
Action fast the last time around. What will be even worse, and what will really kick Andrea? He's 35 seconds back in the race leader, Jack Miller. Nightmare.
So the battle you're watching, Marquez is back in 15th, having had a ride-through penalty. This is how the championship looked. Jack Miller for the race lead with 12 to go. Alex Rins, the rookie of last year, he can't quite outbrake Jack Miller into turn 5. Not a bit wide. Crutchlow still in fourth. He can't quite get his claws into these three.
He's pushing Cal as well, though. He was the only right place. Marquez is 7 seconds adrift of Andrea Dovizioso in 5th. And last
up his first win in MotoGP and Suzuki's first. It's Maverick Vinales 2 years ago at Silverstone.
Well, his pit board there said +2 Zarco, G2, which means Group 2 behind him.
On board now with Maverick Vinales, looking at the moment, the championship leader, Andrea Dovizioso.
What?
Here comes the change for the lead. Alex Rins up the inside, but he runs wide. Through goes Jack Miller again. That allows us.
Splash Redding in the blink of an eye, taking a second out of the British rider on the.
Marc Marquez, if he can keep, anything can happen.
Vinales has taken Dovizioso. Vinales is up into 5th place, so Andrea Dovizioso taking Dovizioso. Vinales is up into 5th place, so Andrea Dovizioso losing another point there. Catching the flash, 1.5 seconds quicker last time around than Danilo Petrucci. Sitting ducks those guys in front of Marc. He leads here in Argentina, but he's wide again. Second time in successive laps. He's about to lose second place. Is he now? In spite of the cherry that he's had. Alessio Spargo is retired.
Oh, look at the smoke pouring out of the rear tyre there of Alex Rins.
Able to get close enough to showed Johan Zarco a wheel, has he, as yet?
These riders that go across the line here. Cal is more experienced at these leading packs.
Marc Marquez is about to go into the top 10.
It's his 10th.
He's got Iannone. He's passing these guys like they're standing still. Iannone really struggling. Petrucci's now picked him up.
He runs slightly wide again on cutback, and there goes Miller through again, retaliating.
These two have had some battle royales back in the Moto 3 days. That's brave. How brave was that by Alex Rins? Pick Iron. Lap 17 underway. 8 to go here in Argentina. Rins, Miller, Zarco and Crutchlow. Vinales, and who's now hunting him down? Who's stalking him from behind? Marc Marquez.
But it could have been so much worse for Dovizioso, and I think that if anyone could take the positives out of that, it would be him.
Motocross skills in the winter because he's really lighting up that rear tyre. Crutchlow then pounces. Cal Crutchlow makes a move, and Rins was well wide. Big mistake by Rins. In the blink of an eye, he goes from always fancying his chances of coming through from 10th on the grid. Take the fight to Marc Marquez, and Crutchlow and Miller both dive into the one.
Cal Crutchlow trying to close in on Jack Miller. Johan Zarco there as well. We are Castrol Honda rider now closing back up onto the tail of Jack Miller, who
into the realms of, oh, here we go, Marquez on Dovizioso. Well, it was coming and it's finally happened. And Marc Marquez now into 7th place. The two factory Yamahas ahead of him. Bradley Smith's crashed out at the first corner. Smith we did on slick tyres on Friday.
Oh, there's a big bump and a wobble there from Jack Miller. He almost lost the front, and then Rins is through as well. And all of a sudden, Cal Crutchlow not only leads the race, but he leads the championship right now as well.
Yeah, yellow flag.
Vinales is at the moment in 5th, but he'll do well to hold on to that. Marc.
He loves Argentina, Cal Crutchlow.
He's has to get on the brakes. He has a moment on the front, almost tucks it, has to sit the bike up a bit.
What happened there was he was talking about dogs with bones. Johan Zarco's not going to give this one up at all.
One of the LCR mechanics waving.
You're going to be picking up probably a 5th place. Oh! Top 6. Crutch's having massive moments coming through that turn 4.
Is Cal Crutchlow. This is a season-changing result coming up here for one of these three. Please get in touch, because that'll be a question asked by so many people. Weekend, it's fair to say, here in Argentina, they were 1st and 2nd at the moment. Zarco's got the lead. We're watching here Marquez. Oh, he's gone! He's going to knock him off! Oh, on earth has he done it? He's done it again!
Oh, and down! The history between the pair of them. It started here in Argentina. But
done exactly the same thing again.
Well, there's history, and there's a lot of Tina Rossi at turn number 13. Rossi dodged onto the grass. Soaking.
He's taken the lead. He went past Cal Crutchlow, and Rins is now closing into the party as well. We've got 4 laps to go.
Grand Prix. Rossi's remounted. Grass stuck in all the right-hand side of that, the inside.
Exactly the same thing as he did earlier.
No room there. Oh, and as we said, there is an awful lot of history between those two. That's going to rumble on long into
Zarco went for the soft front there, but it's all just down to this. There's 3 laps to go. They're all hungry for victory.
And those
Vinales is 5th. Marquez is still out there in 6th.
Rear tyre here. Coming through turn number 4. He's a passenger. He's a fucking Bronco, that LCR Honda.
Here we go into the moment, who has been talked about so much in the off. Tina Rossi here is in 19th place. He ain't scoring points today, I'm afraid. It's all about the battle at the front. Here in Argentina, they flick left onto the start-finish straight. Cal Crutchlow.
More than 20 years since a British rider has won or has led the MotoGP World Championship. It's nearly 20 years since a French rider was victorious. Vinales and Marc Marquez. This is a battle for 5th place. Marquez really hunting down Vinales. Back at the front.
Yes, for now.
Zarco's coming. He thought about it. Zarco thought about how much abuse, how much force he putting through. That Zarco's going to be close enough maybe to attack at that final couple of corners. Rins is not going to surely get back into contention. Crutchlow versus Zarco. Turn 7. 2 of the biggest final sector standing firm. Cal Crutchlow there now. Couple of corners close to him. It's going to be a desperate lunge. Crutchlow surely. It's going to win here in Argentina.
1 corner left, and here in Argentina, what a race it's been! Cal Crutchlow wins for the LCR Castrol Honda team ahead of Johan you will ever see. 3rd place goes to Rins, Miller 4th, Vinales has been robbed of 5th at the end by Marc Marquez.
Another story, jubilation for the LCR Honda team. Andrea Dovizioso crosses the line in 40.425. It just wasn't enough though. There's going to be plenty more talking points to follow this unbelievable, incredible. So when was the last time a rider had 3 penalties in a race? 3 different. I've got away with that one. I'm sorry, you don't get away with that. There's no room, absolutely no room. Valentino Rossi's on the line. There's no room at all for Marc Marquez, and he didn't need to do it. And they're going, whoops, I'm in big trouble here.
It's tough to make it through the prologue, and it's really cool to see how many people just love Curtis.